Recently, I spent some time doing two of my favorite things, painting in watercolor and relaxing on the beach. I brought along a brand new watercolor travel sketchbook. I'm particular about watercolor paper, as not all papers perform well. That said, I was excited to give this sketchbook a try. I also have a brand new custom travel watercolor palette set that I made from my favorite tube paints. I'm mixing a violet and mossy green and a faint soft blue-gray, and these will be the base colors for this shell. They will be the underpainting. My brush follows the line of the shell. You'll get better results in general if you learn to see and paint subtle variations of colors versus mixing flat gray colors for shadows. Varying base colors also helps to build contrast right from the beginning. Some parts of the paper are drying quickly, and so I use that to my advantage. To create a shell with depth, you need to keep your brush moving in the direction of the shell. I'm going to make some color swatches. Drawing from life will make you versatile as an artist. Even if you prefer to create abstract art, having strong life drawing skills gives you greater versatility. This shell needs big, loose, swooping lines to capture its gesture. My grip on the pencil is very loose. The bottom of the shell needs small, curvy lines. If you gain a strong life drawing skill set, it will never leave you. You could go years without drawing, and it's a skill that's like riding a bicycle. When I draw, every line adds character. If you misjudge, you could just do a new line, and of course you can erase. General colors I'm pre-mixing are raw sienna, anthracenoid red, nougat beige to brighten up the mix, and then a little French ultramarine will make a soft, shadowy violet. I'm pretty much mixing from experience and intuition. Again, when painting shells, follow the gesture of the shell to create the depth and the contour and to capture the basic life essence of this shell. When painting from life, you have to work quickly as your light source is changing. This affects your shadows and your highlights. I'm really happy with my underpainting colors, and I bet newer artists wouldn't have thought to incorporate a color like ultramarine blue into the mix. With enough experience, you will train your eyes to see these subtle colors within colors, and you'll know color temperatures. You'll know which color mixes will create warm tones, which ones will create cool tones, and you'll know how to adjust based on what you need. The ultramarine blue really toned down the sweetness of these warmer golden hues, and it gives me a very earthy tone, and I want to use that for this shell. Notice how I have a good variety of hues from this simple palette mix. I'm already creating depth, bringing the shape of the shell into life. I'm really enjoying this process. I'm now going to do a different shape, maybe a white shell, to show you how I would handle this subject. This one is interesting. It's shaped like a dome and has fine lines in different layers. Of course, I'm observing the shell from a slightly different perspective. In college as an undergraduate, I took most of the science illustration classes, which was a graduate program. In those years, I was really skilled at life drawing and painting. It is still something that I appreciate. From the earthy coastal colors I've already mixed, I'm going to paint some shadows. This white shell needs a strong shadow which will emphasize the white. Sometimes painting white is kind of almost about painting the colors and the shadows around that. You need some contrast to get that white to really stand out. If you look at the white shell, it's different than the color of my watercolor paper. All of this just takes a little bit of experience, trial and error, and of course, there's more than one way to capture a subject like this. Let's take a break from painting shells for a minute, and I'll show you what's in my travel watercolor kit. It's easy for me to pack a lot of brushes with this great canvas carrier, and why not? But if I had to, I could choose 2 to 4 brushes just to bring along. I also have a plastic container for water and a water bottle and paper towels. I nearly always have a paper towel in my hand when painting watercolor. I use those to control the amount of water that I have in my brush. Let's paint one more shell. This squat shell has an interesting texture. I discovered that by mixing a few colors, I could capture the essence of each of these different shells. I love trying different watercolors, but if I had to, I could absolutely work within a very small color palette and mix everything that I need, and that's what I did for the first 15 years of my watercolor journey. And let's just add 2 more swatches to complete this earthy coastal color palette. Join me in my next video as I show you all the colors in this travel watercolor set. I'm going to swatch the colors and talk about why I have certain colors and where I might use them. In this earthy color palette that I mixed today, of course I didn't need the bright greens or the vibrant blues, but I could have easily used them in other painting subjects. Please subscribe if you enjoy watching my painting tutorials, and visit floravitalights.com if you would like to see my reverse painted glass chandeliers, oil and watercolor paintings, and my contemporary artwork. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.